Hi everyone, my name is Prerak Sharma. I'm 21 years old, first year student of MBA Data Science and AI at IIT Mandi. Just a few minutes before, my friend came, which you all know about, whom I have to talk in English only. He saw me in this outfit and associated me as Steve Jobs. He asked me, what am I trying to do? Why am I dressed up like Steve Jobs? This is how conversations are built. I had totally no clue what topic will I need for this video. I just have one thing clear in my mind. I have to communicate for 20 minutes straight. I have to make my mind think in English. So this is how I chose today's topic. Why do I look like Steve Jobs? Why am I dressed like Steve Jobs? So this was not intentional. This was not intentional. If you all guys are wondering, I just ended up dressing like this, and he came right at this moment when I changed my clothes at 30 degrees Celsius into a turtleneck, and he saw me personating Steve Jobs. So, bygones are bygones. Let's continue. Why am I dressed like this? I had a T-shirt on, the previous one which I had on the previous video. So I thought of changing something to have a different kind of outfit or different look. So I checked out in my wardrobe, or can call it my bag, and I found this thing. I thought this might look good. I also have a fan on, so it won't matter if I wear it. Anyways, it's just a 20-minute video. It also looks good. So this was the reason. Didn't expect anyone to call me as Steve Jobs. One more thing, yeah, Steve Jobs. Who is Steve Jobs? The CEO of Apple, as people know him. I also am reading his biography right now. I am in the middle of the book which someone has written because he hasn't written the autobiography himself. I've known a lot of things about him, and currently I am in the phase where he's trying to build next. And the Pepsi guy, I believe his name is James Scully, the Coca-Cola guy, is currently the CEO of Apple. Steve Jobs was a great guy. I would just say that he was an artist who loved perfectionism. His belief of having factories painted all white, his belief or his imagination of having the Mac or the PC that he was working on perfectly cube with no round edges, his love for perfectionism, the way he gave $300,000 for the logo of Next, how he liked people around him who have passion for their work argue against him. He liked people who knew what they are doing, and the reality distortion field, which Steve Jobs was known for. He made people do those things which even they couldn't think of. This is the power that Steve Jobs carried. I won't call it a power, it was just his personality, or it was just his behavior, or how should I say it? It was just him, the real him. He followed what he liked. He liked design. Everything that he liked in reality, physical form, he made it digital. He digitized it, making this reality, which we all refer to as Maya, come inside a box. Obviously, that can become addictive, and this is the version of Mac or computer that we here all have in front of us right now. The laptop or computer that you are watching this video on is manifested from the brain of Steve Jobs. Just imagine 1970s, 1980s, a box was made, and that box kept on iterating, newer and newer versions came out, and today this form which we have in front of us is the final product. This has become a necessity to live. The fact that I am able to present myself in front of you all. The fact that even if we forget you all part, the fact that I'm able to speak right here is just because of this thing. There is no possibility that a guy from hills, I am from Shimla, okay, so there was no possibility in 1,000 years that a guy from hills, the guy from Shimla, can talk like this. No possibility at all. Without resources, without means, how could I have done this? The fact that I got to learn how to use a computer, how to use internet, the revolution which digitization brought with it, made impossible things happen. And where did all this come from? Brain, mind. Steve Jobs had this idea to make to make this reality fit into a box. He made design manifest its real life through a screen in front of him. Imagine just having numbers shown up in your screen, which today doesn't even matter that much. At that time, it was a big deal. You could earn millions of dollars if you could somehow code or make a hardware which can show some numbers pop up. Even if you could add colors to it, boom, $1 million straight away. And today it doesn't have any value. Today, a person who can type is not considered a skillable person. He won't get any job in the market. This thing which we have in front of us has its own world now. Visual world, virtual world. This virtual world has manifested in such a form that it's a world of its own. Earlier we used to only have two worlds. The world which is around us, the physical world, and the world which I perceive in my mind, the mental world. Now we have a virtual world. I can sit on my computer and spend my whole day with people. What does a human need in his life? A human needs society, a sense of relationship, a sense of connection. What more does he need? He needs to compete. A person cannot survive on his own. He needs something to strive on. Daily, if I see my neighbor doing something, cutting woods, let's stay in the hills, okay? If I see my neighbor cutting wood, I would want to cut more wood than him. I would want to compete with him. And if you think that competition is not the right goal or right perspective of associating it with all humans, the fact that we have this machine in front of us is the result of competition. If people were okay with the product which they received, if people didn't compete amongst themselves to create a better machine, to create a better market for themselves, to create a name of their own, we wouldn't have gotten this machine that is in front of us. This machine went through wars over the years. It's 2024 now. 24 years straight out of competition along with internet. Before that, when we had no internet, still competition was there. Steve Jobs wasn't the only one who was making computers. He had IBM as his opponent. He had Apple as his opponent, his own parent company, his own company for once in his life. He had Microsoft, Bill Gates in his competition. We all compete, no matter at what scale, no matter if you disagree with me, we all want to become better. By competing with the other person, eventually we become a better version of ourselves. Competition is a part of being human. And the second part, or the first part which I talked about, network. We cannot survive without a network. I need people around me to feel valuable. I cannot live alone. If it was a possibility, we would have been the only person in our planet. We need a sense of connection. Relationships make us alive. If I don't have friends around, I'll probably, I don't directly mean it that I can't survive without people around me, but having people around me makes my life meaningful. What do I need to do work for? I can just eat, sleep, reproduce. Reproduce, the fact, the word itself requires two people. So the sense of having a connection is natural. Everything is in pairs here. Nature has pairs. Duality prevails everywhere. Male, if we have a male species, we have a female species for it. If we have males in humans, we also have females in it. Nature wants us to reproduce. The best one will go on. So a sense of connection is always there. We can't just stay alone, no matter what. So the two things that we covered were competition and network. What more can we think of? So we started from Steve Jobs' charisma, how he made, how thought in his mind to make a computer, to make a box which can have numbers pop on it, numbers which can be designed beautifully with calligraphy, numbers which can have colors on it. Just this idea manifested into a different world that we have today. And also, I also like one more thing of him. Have you ever wondered why the Mac, the Apple Mac, is known as Mac? Even if I tell you the full form, Macintosh. Why is it called Macintosh? Why not anything else? He was a very realistic person. What he saw in his real life, he got inspired by it, and he built products around nature. Nature is omnipresent. The things which are on nature are certified and trademarked by God. And if we somehow make a copy of an omnipresent thing, it will definitely hack psychologies, and it is an SEO of its own kind, search engine optimization. So what did Steve Jobs do? Why did he call his computer or his device, his machine, a Macintosh? So the thing is, he used to work on an apple farm during his early days, and we all might be aware of a species of apple which is known as Macintosh. So he preferred naming his computer as Macintosh. Apple Macintosh. Are you seeing the thing? Imagine working on an apple field and getting inspired from the fruit and naming your company after it. Apple. And also there was a myth around that time that why did Steve Jobs name his company Apple? So there is the guy who is said to be the father of AI. I don't Peter Irving was his name, or I don't exactly remember. I've seen the movie of him. So he was said to have died. The father of AI is said to have died by eating a poisonous apple. And that apple which was found also had a bite taken off from it. And the similar logo, where do we see it? On the Apple screen, or on the Apple company. So this was supposed by people, this was assumed by people, that why did Steve Jobs choose Apple as its logo and as its name? And Steve Jobs has also admitted, I wish it had been so, but it was not like that. He just named it Apple from the things which he was doing on, so he made it. I might be wrong. You can correct me up in the comments below. Find out why did Steve Jobs name his company Apple. And the second part, why did he name his company Macintosh? Because Macintosh is a species of the Apple. So the product which he made, he named it Macintosh. More things that I'll tell you. This screen which we have right now in front of us, what do we call it? A desktop. Have you ever wondered why is it called the desktop? And Steve Jobs was so inspired by nature, everything that he observed around him, he tried to virtuify him. If we have a word like this, virtuify. What does virtuify mean, or what I want it to mean? To make things that are in reality come into the screen. How did he do it? I was talking about desktop. Give it a thought. Why the screen that I have in front of me is known as desktop? It is known as desktop. Comment below if you have any ideas, okay? I'll go on with my view or with my talk. This is known as desktop because people who were using this computer were replacing their books or real life things with the machine which they had produced, which Steve Jobs produced. What was it replacing? Where did they keep it? Where was the Apple machine kept? On the desk. And what was it replacing? all the things that are on top of the desk: files, your calculator, your documents, anything that you needed to use the pen and paper for, anything that you needed to store. So, what could be the best name which replaced the things on the top of the desk? With the machine, a single device required to store all of this. What could be a better name? So, he named the screen desktop. Why? Because even on our desktop, what is there? We have folders. We also had folders in our real lives. We also have folders on today in this time. And where do we keep it? On the top of the desk. What more do we have? Images. We might have photographs on top of our desks. Videos. We might have a camera. We also have cameras now on our machine. Everything that you can name of which is required is currently present on my desk. That is why this desktop came from. And you also might have observed the multi-purpose thing that we can do on our screens. What am I talking about? Multitasking. I'll show you one thing if it is possible. Yeah, let me just show you my display. So this is my display, okay? I'll also add my camera to it. Just give me a second. Media source, video, capture device. So I'll show you one thing. So this is called a desktop, right? Why is this called a desktop? Because it has everything. It has files on it, it has folders on it, it has images on it, it has everything, right? Now I'll tell you one more thing. Where did this come from? If I open this Chrome tab, right? And if I open Brave in the second tab, what made them the feature which we have right now? See, I can overlap both of these screens. Chrome screen can come over the Brave screen, and the Brave screen can come over the Chrome screen. How is that possible? People at that time who were innovating technology got inspired by pages. I have these two notebooks, one over the other. If I want to use it, I can keep it over it. If I want to use this one, I can keep it over it. And there are no constraints in me just keeping them side by side. This inspired those people to do the same thing which we have in nature, which we have in reality, come to virtual world. How did they do it? They coded the software in such a way that they were able to use these files or applications like pages. I can keep this page over it. I can keep this page also over it. This is how things were done. That is how people operated at that time. So, what more can we discuss now? If I have to discuss, I think by is this. So don't worry about it. I'll just switch my camera to here. I hope it is working. This is how issues happen. Technical glitches happen. That is why if someone can solve this issue for me, he should compete. Competition remains, and by competing, he'll get a market share. And if he gets a market share, he can monetize it easily. We all are the main characters of a life. Find out the issue from our environment, take an issue from the nature which we have, try to monetize it by making a business plan, go out to people, reach out to people, try and make them convince with your idea. If they give you money, work for it for 2 3 years, try to monetize it somehow. This is how you make money. Working for a corporate should not be a life goal. Life goal should be to create something, build something that people can benefit from. Anyways, I'm looking like Bill Gates today. I'm looking like Steve Jobs today. So motivational stuff and inspiring stuff coming today from my mouth is natural. And Steve Jobs was known for a person who said many controversial things. So if I say something controversial, please don't mind. It is my persona which I'm carrying today. So coming back to the topic, build something. Building something or creating something gives you immense peace. The fact that I'm making this video right now, I don't, I do care about the views, but even if I don't get them, just the fact that I created it makes me happy. There is a concept called Nishkam Karma in the Holy Bhagavad Gita. Do your karma without expecting result from it. Find out your nature, what do you like, and according to your nature, find some tasks accordingly, and do those tasks without expecting much. Do those tasks for your lifetime. If it helps people, it helps them. If it doesn't, just keep on doing it. It might help someone. The fact that I'm making this video right now, it might help people. I started posting on LinkedIn. People got to know me. People got to read my stuff. And some of them got inspired. I have live examples which I don't like to boast about out here. But people are doing real stuff. People are getting inspired and people are doing stuff. That is why I'll keep on doing this daily. If I post something on social media, right, it doesn't matter how many views I get, but people see me. I have eyes on me. Even if I get 40 views, right, I have 80 eyes on me. I can't let those eyes roll down. If I'm posting something, I'll only post value. Without value, just normal life and stuff, I don't think it carries any meaning. And yeah, the third thing, we need meaning in our lives. The first one was network, the second one was competition, and the third one is meaning. We need meaning from our lives. Without meaning, we can't survive. If I am a doctor, if I can help some people, if I can make some people's life easy, it carries meaning to my life. Being a teacher, sharing something to a bunch of people, sharing something that you know, which might help them, which will help them. It is not the issue of might. If you are a teacher and you are teaching something, the thing that you are teaching should definitely help someone. And if it helps, your life has a meaning. Me posting the knowledge which I have, me trying to help people through LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube, if it is helping someone, if just people are seeing it out there and finding it valuable, it gives my life meaning. I want this thing to go on. Values, moral, and ethics over anything. I will make this a reality someday. We should not go to Western people like Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, and this ideology which has hacked the internet right now. We should create our own identities, and I don't see anyone creating at that large scale. I have some people in mind, but I can build on my own. I will become that person whom I want people to be like. This is my journey on what I'm working on, and you all can witness it by subscribing to this channel, by following me or connecting with me on LinkedIn, or following me on Twitter. Stay in touch. You'll know where I'll be. I'll do this continuously. I have committed to myself that I'll do it daily for 2 years. 2 years is just a number, okay? I just want to do it to improve myself. Improving myself daily by little amounts will have a compounded effect. We talked about this in the previous video. So hang on to my journey. You'll know the updates soon. Whatever happens, it is all out there. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Do like the video if you liked it for sure. Comment your views below. If you want to connect, my socials are below in the description. Thank you so much. Signing off, Prerak Sharma, MBA Data Science and AI, IIT Mandi.